Twin Bill, where you can get your fill of hosts Jason and Marcus talking about movies and stuff. You know you never can get enough. A twin is two people who are related. Twin Bill. This season is Razzie Mania. Hello and welcome to Twin Bill, the podcast where it's a movie review podcast, but there's two twins doing it. What? I always am your host and MC, stupid stand-up thing, for the evening. Jason Luna, here as always with my identical twin brother and co-host Marcus Luna. How are you doing today, Marcus?
Doing good. Doing good.
Yeah. Uh, can Did you watch anything this week other than two movies, which is a lot to ask for, I guess?
I actually did because I'm a big Nolan guy. I watched The Odyssey in IMAX, no less.
So I assume everyone else has seen it already, but I haven't seen it. So just generally didn't disappoint you or make you throw your Blu-ray of the Batman trilogy out the window or anything.
Um, it's good to great movie, I guess, but being a stickler, I would rank it lower on the Nolan tree of rankings. Um, don't get drawn into the characters as much. It's kind of a Homer's fault, though, because of the fantastical nature of the plot. It's honestly a little hard to film. Um,
Yeah,
but
probably better than the Armando Sante version, which I think I had to watch at some point.
I like the Nolan movies with the characters more real, and feel stupid saying that because although obviously Batman's very fictional, not real. I mean, it's more gritty and realistic, I would say, and movies like that, Memento, Oppenheimer, are a lot better.
Hmm.
I would say. Sorry, I'm talking too long on this movie because not the point of the podcast. But last note is I probably still keep Insomnia last. Still, I kind of like that movie, but it's kind of a mess.
None of you ever saw Following. I think that was worse, but you know.
I haven't seen that one yet.
All right. So I watched two movies that were not exactly up to that caliber of quality. Jesus Christ. Uh, First movie I watched was Evasive Action. It looked like a TV movie from the 90s. It's about convicts who are in prison who try to escape while they're on transport between prisons on a train. And the only reason I watched this movie was because Roy Scheider was in it, and I thought it was an older slash better movie than it was. And Roy Scheider played a convicted mafia boss and did not change his accent. So good for him.
Dorian Harewood, who played 8 Ball in Full Metal Jacket.
I don't remember either him in this movie or that movie. So
Black guy.
okay, there's actually two. There was actually two main black guys in this movie, so good for them. Progressive. The only other thing of note in this movie, how boring it is for quote unquote comic relief, they have Clint Howard as a convicted serial killer who's in on the escape plot, and he kills people exclusively in movie reenactments, and his dialogue is exclusively movie quotes. So they don't have him talk very much because how many movie quotes can you say in a movie? Here's Johnny, Clint Howard accent. Anyway, it was terrible. And
Kind of
also,
appropriate. Oh,
sorry, that's okay.
I was gonna say about saying weird movie quotes is kind of appropriate because both these movies in their way are pastiches of Humphrey Bogart's earlier career.
And speaking of alleged comedy, I also watched. I think it's actually what might have been. I don't know, straight to video or TV, but anyway, it's National Lampoon's Attack of the 5'2" Women. So this movie was released in 1994. Without looking it up, stop. Can you guess what two famous women who were allegedly 5'2" are featured in this movie? Celebrities, very like
90,
topical, trashy magazine stuff.
92.
94.
Can't be A-list stars because it's
They're
a
both
movie
criminalistic figures, but who are celebrities.
criminalistic. Jessica Hahn,
She's too classy for this.
Tanya Harding.
That's one.
Wow. Uh, Amy.
It's not Amy
What's
Fisher. That's a good guess though. How do I describe? Whatever. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, whatever.
you know what they do? Just kill it.
She choppy the pee pee.
I know Lorena Bobbitt acted because I know
Oh,
John.
she didn't act. That's the weirdest part of this movie is Julie Brown plays both of them in two separate mini films.
Oh, I thought it was actually Tanya Harding.
No, that would make sense. That would make sense too, but no. Uh, it's really cringy because well, A, it's not funny, and it's like it's weird. They use a lot of the details that are in I, Tonya in the Tanya Harding one, so it's like watching a really bad version of I, Tonya, like his her mom having that bird on her shoulder and Jeff Galooly and the Hitman and stuff. But
I'm gonna say it's below Vicki Lawrence, but I mean, I guess in her career in total, but by the 90s, she had to take roles like this, I think.
to her credit, she did co-direct the entire movie, so that's something, I guess. Uh, but I don't know why. Well, I know why because it's probably cheaper. But she played Lorena Bobbitt, and she did like a Mexican like I don't know Mel Blanc. I'm dating myself. Whatever, fake Mexican accent. It was very annoying.
Said Vicki Lawrence, not Julie Brown.
What?
Vicki
Huh?
Lawrence is in the movie.
Vicki Lawrence has a small part in the movie. Julie Brown plays both of them, the leads.
Okay, I was talking about someone. I was talking about Vicki
I'm ta-
Lawrence.
I was talking about Julie Brown. You go on this Vicki Lawrence tangent. Okay, fine. Vicki Lawrence is on the Cobra show, and she's a mom from Mama's Family. There you go. Okay,
Just saying, she's the most famous person in the cast.
probably there might have been some cameo in there somewhere, but yeah, Julie Brown's accent was like, "Oh no, what is John Wayne doing?" That's like the whole movie. Really bad. Okay, moving on. We're doing a new format on this show, Twin Bill. It's kind of similar to the old format, but because it's Twin Bill, we're gonna do two movies. We're gonna do the Razzie movie and then a good movie that's thematically linked to the Razzie movie. So we're gonna start with the Razzie movie and talk about the man with Bogart's face. Before we get to the details of this movie, do you have any thoughts on why this movie would matter now, or someone would theoretically want to watch it? The only thing I think of is that like it's a reflection on Humphrey Bogart and film noir.
Yes, that's basically it. It's an homage. And you look at the cast, and also even have George Raft on the poster, for instance, and he's like in the movie for like less than 3 seconds. So it's an homage with some casting of people who actually would have been contemporaries of Humphrey Bogart. So
Yes,
yes,
well,
it's just a historic teaching the younger generation, but as we'll get into, there's it kind of failed in that and actually being a good movie.
we'll get into the whole cat, yeah, in theory, fun casting of actual film noir actors, but they're all very old and they were all bit players back when they were film noir actors. Kind of sad. We'll get into that more later, but all right, let's break it down. I guess I don't know, there's a set order of this. Uh, I sent you a thing. I put them on the same line with the line between. So hopefully it's not too confusing. But Bogart's face is on top of the breakdown. Okay. So were you familiar at all with the director Robert Day?
no,
He this is his claim to fame, sadly enough. He directed a ton of B movies in like the early '60s, like Tarzan the Magnificent with a Tarzan actor I didn't recognize.
Cool.
Yep.
Oh my God. Do you recognize Andrew Finetti?
No, it's kind of similar to the director. He wrote the book this was based on and the screenplay, and he produced the movie. So this is his big shot at the big time. He worked on a lot of Western TV shows. The producers overlapped, I think, on both movies. So yeah, it's just Finati. So were you familiar at all with the musical work of George Dunning?
The name does not ring a bell.
He actually had a decent run. He did some incidental score work for the original Star Trek, and he scored from Here to Eternity. So go to the
What does the title mean? What do you think of the title?
oh, we still got the cast.
Oh, I don't know how many to go through, but what do you think of Robert Sacchi? It's a probably more ethnic way to say that.
Uh yeah, he's a decent Bogart impersonator. I actually recognized him because he was in a very good and much better stylistically Tales from the Crypt episode, where it was like from Bogart from they didn't say it was Bogart from but it was from his first person POV and he's solving a crime and of course there's a murder twist at the end, much more clever than the this movie. And also I looked it up. He did a Bogart impression on the radio in Blast from the Past, the Brendan Fraser rom-com. There you go.
Played an engineer in Die Hard 2, which definitely don't remember that.
This is the only other cast when I bother to note because we'll get into the day player guys in the trivia section. But did you recognize Sybil Danning as Cynthia Ashley, who was Franco Nero's girlfriend? I think
Yes, and because she's an alum of this show, she was in
uh,
Phantom Thread or Phantom.
Empire. It's a bullshit
God,
name. Empire of One in the California desert.
the somewhat more nuanced role, but still the same thing where it's showing off her boobs, and then she literally is about to go topless, and then I believe Duchess, the one that's the daughter of Victor Buono's character, yells at her to stop, and she doesn't fully take her top off. It's really random in the belly dancing. Yeah, she's a B movie legend with humongous breasts. And I think her breasts are smaller in this movie than they were by Phantom Empire.
Yep. If you were one of those people, I'm not judging, is looking for boob rolls for Sybil Danning. This is pretty low on the boob dar. But,
Just an A-level picture for her.
yeah. So that's about it. That's it for the cast. Like I said, I'll mention the elderly character actors at the trivia. Yeah, I don't want too much on the title, but The Man with Bogart's Face is an accurate title. It's just too long. I'm not like gonna get upset about it, but he is a man with Bogart's face because he got plastic surgery at Humphrey Bogart's face, which is a very ludicrous plot setup. But, something a villain would do, get fake plastic surgery.
Yeah, I have a big problem with
The guy doing
really,
it.
in hindsight, it would have been better if he just had this guy look like Bogart, and then everyone's like, "What the fuck? Why do you look like Humphrey Bogart?" And he's like, "What are you talking about?" But they introduce the plastic surgery thing and they don't explain it. Who was this guy
Yeah.
before he had plastic surgery? Why did he get it? Was he hiding something?
And
It's
then,
just that he
yeah.
just turned into a Humphrey Bogart type hero.
And then it was stupid because the setup is that he gets plastic surgery look just like Bogart, and then I'm looking at his face and I'm like, you don't look just like Bogart. You look close, but it's like if Bogart had a stroke or something, it's uncomfortable to look at. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. If I saw him in 1980, I probably think he was Humphrey Bogart or looked a lot like him. So I don't mind that.
I could talk briefly about the poster. I have part of it on my screen. The artwork is really well done in terms of the caricatures of the celebrities and stuff. I think it's too busy. From afar, it looks like Humphrey Bogart's got little dots on his cloak, on his trench coat. It's kind
Yeah,
of
he does. Yeah, he has a blue dotted tie, and he has that. In hindsight, it's kind of a spoiler for the plot because on his trench coat, instead of a button, it's one of the blue sapphires.
the eyes of,
Eyes of Alexander.
yeah, goddamn. Okay, non-flashbacks this movie. But yeah, it's an okay
I
poster.
must have the eyes of Alexander. If I had a nickel for every time they fucking said that phrase in the movie.
Oh, what's with the eyes of Alexander?
Are they actually his age?
Let's briefly go over the tagline. He's cool under pressure and sophisticated under the sheets. I fucking hate this tagline so much. Like, who wants to be sophisticated under the sheets? Sounds like a fucking did I don't know, diddler, as the British would say. I don't know. It's uncomfortable.
Just sleep around in the movie, so I guess it's fitting. The one that's on the poster there is actually better.
What does it say?
The face may be familiar. The mystery is brand new.
I slightly disagree. I mean, it's I
Well,
get
you're a fan of Mischievous Under the Sheets?
no. I just meant your tagline because the mystery's kind of brand new because it's not a ripoff, but it's just so dull and they don't have action in it. But yeah, it's a lot of dialogue. We'll get into that a little bit. But yeah, I sent you the trailer. Did you watch it?
Sorry, I was scrambling for time. Was it? There was anything else besides scenes from the plot?
The only exciting part was, I believe it was, what's his face, the guy who died, who does the Inner World.
Oh, Dawn something?
Yeah, whatever. The actual movie trailer voice did this movie trailer, and
Don Font Don Fontaine?
yeah, Don LaFontaine. Yes, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Anyway, so it was weird because like for 30 seconds it was a normal trailer that was pretty good. They said like, oh, there's action and there's thrills, and they showed like the three action scenes in the movie, like the mirrors getting broken and the gunshots and stuff and the chase scene. They show all that right away, and there's another minute of trailer where it's jokes from the movie. It was so boring. As a trailer.
Remember the jokes like the secretary saying the dumb secretary saying, "I'm not wearing any panties."
I don't remember what specific jokes from the trailer, but they were all the as we'll get to the quote section. The jokes are all the same. It's like, hey, yeah, but anyone would tell you you look like Gene Arthur. That's pretty much all the jokes in this movie. It's just like one-liners that Robert Sacchi wrote down on a notepad.
Or the jokes like the small Italian man hiding from the gigantic landlord wife because I can't keep up with her. She's too big for me.
Oh my god, that one guy like lived in an attic. I can't even remember his line,
Yeah.
but it's like he just goes like, yeah, just it's like, oh, you're a funny
Sounds
guy.
like sounds like he runs a pizzeria with his brother with his brother Luigi.
And that landlord of the building he works in has she looks like a character from like Big Pee-wee's Big Adventure. She's like super tall and has like a big wig on, and she's like kind of grumpy. And it's like,
Yep.
yeah, it's just,
Yep.
yep, yep. Okay, let's go through the actual awards. It's kind of fitting because this is the last Razzie movie of 1980. We get a bit of a what do you call it, retrospective, because we can go through a whole category because this is one of the greatest films ever made because it was nominated for one Razzie and it won the Razzie. So it's like LeBron James just hitting shots. This movie won worst song at the I'm so excited to talk about this song. It won worst song at the Razzie for "The Man with Bogart's Face," a song I described in my notes as, imagine if someone was temping a rap song in the 80s when rap was getting invented. Generic backing track, and the guy goes, "It's the man with Bogart's face. You better go and give him the case. It's the man with Bogart's face. He's going all over the place." It just looks like that all the time. Yep, he can rhyme. You can't sing, but he can
Yeah.
rhyme.
So actually, when the music started, I'm like, okay, this isn't great, but it's okay. But yeah, it's not. The thing with music, it's why I don't like country music is because the music's so lame. You have to focus on the lyrics, and the point of music is to not focus on the lyrics, in my opinion. And I don't think the music is everybody don't focus on the lyrics, and then the lyrics are dreadful. Like you said.
Yep. So this movie won the award. The songs that lost were from "You Can't Stop the Music." It's the Village People with "You Can't Stop the Music."
That was a better song.
It's better. It's not by Village People standards. It's one of their most mediocre, in my opinion.
Well, right decision not have one worst original song in 1980. That's all I'm saying.
I agree. I agree. And then controversial because I think this song is actually potentially worse than Man with Bogart's Face, but it's mostly just because they hired a terrible singer to do it more than the song itself. From A Change of Seasons, Kenny Rankin singing "When You Can't Get the Best." I can't even do it.
Yeah.
It's like, how do we get the best?
Actually, I think it should be just more judged on music, to be honest. So maybe that should. I think that's worse than Man with Bogart's Face.
Definitely a debate for sure. I think because I like rap, Man with Poker's Face offended me more, but I don't know. And then shouldn't have been nominated, but I could see why it was because pretty flat lyric writing or whatever. Neil Diamond from the Jazz Singer with is it you? I can't remember. It's "You Baby Baby." I know he says the words over and over again. I just can't remember the tune. It's like "You Baby." Not even,
The music in that movie is silly how it's placed sometimes. And like Laurence Olivier rooting on Coming to America at the end is ridiculous. But the music is 10 bazillion times better than that shouldn't been music should have avoided the worst original song category here
I think
for
it's
that.
we talked about this on the Jazz Singer episode, but the General E. Lee song was way worse than "You Baby Baby." It's like Neil Diamond needed some variety, so he wrote a pro South Civil
I was
War.
gonna remember I was gonna remember the General Lee song though.
I know, but, and I legitimately like a bunch of songs in that movie, so it makes it hard to really hate that movie musically. And then
It's good music. It's actually the only way you can like that movie is the music distracts you from the rest of it.
like Love on the Rocks is a little cheesy, but I like that. And obviously, coming to America, I legitimately get in my head sometimes. I love that song. Set your sights and set your sails.
All right, Neil Diamond. We're not talking about Neil Diamond tonight.
And then the last song that was nominated, just because the guy with the who ran the Razzies has a big hard on against Xanadu, Suspended in Time, which is not the worst song in the movie or the most memorable. It's a solid Olivia Newton-John ballad. It's like,
Music in that movie is even better than Jazz Singer. So,
I agree.
and that music should have avoided the worst song category.
ELO practically wrote the score for that movie. It's awesome. Yeah, yeah. All right, let's take a trivia break. So, like I mentioned, uh, the quote unquote claim to fame of this movie uh, is that Robert Sacchi or the director or whoever hired a bunch of character actors who were in Bogart movies and stuff to be in it. This movie's kind of the more depressing version because they couldn't get the big stars, and they're just kind of a lot of them are very old and sad looking. I think Dead Man Don't Wear Plaid did a better version where they just took the classic scenes and used them instead of dragging people out of what looks like the retirement home. But
Is there a question?
that was my setup to here's some questions about the elder abuse of this movie of character actors. First question, one of the ones who didn't look old in this movie actually, but Franco Nero had his breakthrough role in what 1966 spaghetti western in the titular role? First name only. The name sounds like a character from a Quentin Tarantino movie, but I can assume they're not related.
I knew without that second clue, Django.
I can read the question for the audience, but yes. This one's way too hard, but whatever. George Raft played a gangster named Petey in this movie, and he played a gangster in Some Like It Hot. His character in Some Like It Hot had what clothing-based nickname / first name?
Garb?
Called spats.
Where's spats in terms of clothes?
They're those things that tie up your socks in formal dress.
Okay, moving on.
Yep. Jay Robinson played a man named Wolf Zindernoof in this movie, naturally. He may be best known for playing what Roman emperor in 1953's epic The Robe?
Just have to shot in the dark here. Nero?
Caligula. Okay. This is okay. Victor Buono played Commodore Alexander in this movie. He also played King Tut on the 1966 Batman TV show. On the show, Batman, Tut was an Egyptologist of what real life prestigious university before head trauma caused him to believe he was an older, fatter version of the boy King.
Hmm. Just hoping you asked about whatever happened to Baby Jane.
Those, there's one other big part he had, but anyway, yeah,
Oxford?
Yale,
No, it's very British sounding.
yeah. Like, he can't play it up. I think he played it up more in this movie, but yeah, yeah. Uh, Last one. Yvonne DiCarlo played another Anastas character or something. The character names got really dull with this, but she's best known for starring as the wife on The Munsters. What was her first name on that show? Also, the name of a flowering plant.
Lily?
Got it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Uh. Oh yeah. So before we get to the our comedy based awards, Oscar categories want to talk about. Um, I want to briefly touch upon makeup because I guess it didn't bother you, but I was not a fan of the Bogart's face thing with Robert Sacchi. It's kind of it was weird to look at.
Well, he's played Bogart impersonators in other mediums, so I think his face honestly looks like that. Um, uh, no, costumes are pretty generic. They wear suits that are
Yeah,
pretty generic. The
I was gonna,
dresses look nice.
yeah, that was my note on the costumes is that they adequately did the noir thing in a neo noir. They look pretty good.
For a noir tribute, this movie's very bright. I mean, it's not a lot of night scenes, but all the night scenes are indoors. Um,
Yeah, I mean, 90% of neo noir is bright colors because they don't normally because no one knows what to do with the advent of color film. I don't know.
that's true. Possibly my favorite Robert Altman movie, The Long Goodbye, which is a much better tribute to noir. Is very bright as well. There is more outside night scenes in that movie.
Yeah, that movie does a better job of well, it's not. It is a comedy, but it's not. It's more grounded in Bogart's face. Most things are more grounded in Bogart's face, but
Yeah, it's a brilliant mix of comedy and drama. Man, I love that movie. Why can't we just talk about that movie instead?
I don't know. I like to work. Okay, I don't know. So let's get to my awards. Start with best scene in Bogart's face. This was difficult, but I came with a few, mostly with the set pieces. So the Hollywood Bowl scene where he meets the girl and there's a shootout. The Hall of Mirrors scene, which honestly was underutilized, but in theory was cool with the how do we get out of this Hall of Mirrors and there's bad guys behind us and stuff, and then the cartoonishly expensive looking jeeps driving on the mountains of California and people driving over the mountain scene. They're all pretty adequate action scenes. Which that one of those or something else?
Uh, they're very rare, but I think the gun shooting scenes maybe were the best part. I gave Robert Day and the sound team credit. Speaking of Oscars, although there's probably much more than five films better in 1980 with better sound than this movie. But the gun shooting scenes were cool. The mirror scene actually bothered me because he killed like 10 guys behind mirrors. Okay, we get it. You're really good at finding bad guys behind mirrors. Came into like a superhero with a gun type of thing. And I actually didn't. It's kind of bizarre how abandoned of a military post Alexander's eyes were. So
Yeah,
yeah, by default, kind of but I actually did kind of like it, the shooting at the Hollywood Bowl.
yeah, I agree. I haven't been in the Hollywood Bowl in ages, and it was kind of cool to see it like captured in 1980 with I mean, they could have used that set a lot better, but I imagine there was filming issues with such a commonly used venue and stuff. But anyway, decent scene. All right, so about worst scenes, much easier to think of. Okay, any verbal sparring between Robert Sacchi and Franco Nero. Um, that weird Middle Eastern party near the end where there were belly dancers and strip teasing. I really almost fell asleep during that. And then going diving into the garbage to look for the envelope, and then kind of more of a commentary than a scene. But at the end of the movie, he just randomly put blanks in his gun and quote unquote palmed the jewels of Alexander to make the plot go away. So one of those, something else.
I'm just gonna get by default the garbage scene, but I'm gonna add a caveat and adding technically maybe a second scene, but they're related. I feel bad for the guy because it was hard to get parts as a Asian American actor at this time, or actually he's straight Asian. I think he's probably an immigrant from Asia when he was younger. Uh, Victor Sen Young, who again, character actor from Days of Yore, was in Charlie Chan films apparently. Um, when they're trying to get the envelope and the dumpster's empty, and then the garbage man can, if you remember, came, sorry, uh, Marlowe asked an Asian man with a parrot on his shoulder where the trash came, and I imagine they asked his actor name is Victor Sen Young, who plays Mr. Wing, to play up his Asianness and his response of I didn't want to imitate it so bad. I'll say it in my accent. Yeah, they took out the garbage, but imagine in a obnoxious, probably instructed, overplayed Asian accent. Uh, and then it's also lame because the whole thing at the end was probably mostly to get this is Misty, this the the Duchess, the secretary character, to take off her clothes because they revealed early in the movie, like I said, that she doesn't wear panties. And so she shows a lot of her butt when she's getting dressed afterwards. But in tandem makes the garbage scene the worst.
Yeah, I'd probably put the plot twist off camera that he put. Who puts blanks in their gun? I mean, that just seems like ridiculously convoluted. But yeah, stupid. Yeah. And the fact he just had the jewels at the end, that was just lazy. Moving on. Uh, best
Oh,
quote.
actually,
Okay.
sorry, speaking of the jewels, at the end when he's talking about what he's going to do with it, especially because he's talking to the daughter of the guy who's going to go blind and not be able to see the jewels anymore, you think she'd have a vested interest to get the jewels to Victor Bruno. But he says, I might give it to the school for the blind. And it's like, that was random.
Yeah, it felt like a bet. It felt like a joke that didn't land or something. I don't know. Yeah. Uh, so best quotes this movie. You know, it's a good movie because I have two quotes. It's not even a good quote, but I just put in there because it's self-referential or whatever. Like, someone says, "You ever see that movie Casablanca?" I don't remember who said it. Great quote. And then actual good quote, I guess. Marlowe's talking to Herbert Lom from the Pink Panther movies. Anyway, it's like Marlowe's like, I work for myself, and then Herbert Lom goes, "Don't we all?" One of those quotes or something else. I had really hard time picking a good quote in this movie.
Uh, no, not a really good quote movie. What was the first one?
You ever seen Casablanca? It wasn't even like just one of those throwaway jokes they did, but at least it referenced a good movie.
I'm gonna cheat and have a tie for because I actually did like the voiceover where he's talking about old movies and who people looked like. I'm not gonna call a specific one, but I'm gonna be lame and say it's a tie between all those.
Okay, I got some of those my worst quotes. So Yeah, let's do it. Here's my nominees for worst quotes. There's a lot of them. Kenny number one. This is a paraphrase, but Marlowe says, "You're not going to try that." The other guy says, "Why not?" And then Marlowe says, "Because I don't want to slug you, but I'll do it anyway." And he punches him. And then someone says, "I got a passion for collection." Marlowe says, "I got a passion for passion." Marlowe says, "You say of course enough times, it sounds silly." And then Herbert Lom says, "Of course." And then Marlowe says, "That's what I mean."
Yeah.
And then, okay, Marlowe, you might like this, I guess. But anyone ever tell you that you look? Everyone ever tell you that you look like Gene Tierney? He just says that. And then, I don't remember
No, it
who.
makes sense though.
It's two characters talking. I can't remember what, but character number one says, "I dream of banana splits." Character number two says, "I dream of women." Character number one, "I dream of them naked." Character number two, "The banana splits." Character number one, "The women."
That's the secretary in.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. Franco Nero. Marlowe says to Franco Nero, "Are you Greek? There's a lot of Greeks around." And then Franco Nero says, "Hardly. I'm Turkish." Not a good quote. I think it's Marlowe says, "I'm nuts about smoked salmon." Another Marlowe gem. Uh, Get him an organ grinder and a tin cup. You'd make a great act.
Yeah, it's one of the henchmen. Um,
And I got two more. So Marlowe says, "Tyrone Power did that in The Mark of Zorro." And then
I
finally,
actually
Marlowe,
like. You're not
okay,
gonna convince me of those. I like his allusions to old cinema.
you're much kinder than me. Okay, and then possibly the worst quote in the whole movie. Marlowe says to some, I think it's this the girlfriend character, the love interest, really lazy. But anyway, "You look Chinese tonight."
It's really bad.
So that's my winner. What do you one of those or something else?
Uh, what's all for? That's what I mean.
You talk so before all the stuff about stop saying
Yeah,
uh, oh, "I got a passion for collection." Well, I got a passion for passion.
yeah. Andrew J. Finati was probably really proud of that one, or maybe it was written by some ad lib or something. But whoever came up with it, Finati's my leading suspect. That's really bad writing. I would say that one.
No, this movie was just a blur of like, that's not funny. That's not funny. Oh God, this movie's good. It's just
It's
like,
almost worse. It's almost worse that you could tell they're trying.
yeah. It's like if the Zucker brothers did drugs and wrote Airplane. That's what it felt like. It was very snappy, but not punchy. Probably have time for this. MVP of the movie. Here's my candidates. Uh, I I got a fake one for all the good Humphrey Bogart movies that fueled this nostalgia. Uh, Herbert Lom for being okay in this movie. Victor Buono for being okay in this movie. Sybil Danning for always being attractive. Those are my MVP candidates. One of those or something else.
It kind of ties into what you the first one, the like I said, the illusions and the VO of the old movies. I thought they'd lean into that more instead of the lame action adventure plot they end up doing. So I definitely think it's that.
Agreed. Okay, let's go to the bigger award, the LVP. Like I don't know, most overbearingly bad part of the movie. Anyway, my nominees are Robert Sacchi doing a Rich Little impression of Humphrey Bogart for an hour and a half. Elder abuse of the screen reputation of a bunch of old actors. Aforementioned horrible theme song that sounds like a parody of bad 80s rap. And a bonus nomination for just a bunch of bad dad jokes, if you call them that. One of those, something else.
I'm tempted to. I don't want to double dip. I'm tempted to do it. The Mr. Wing character was really bad, but I'm tempted as a joke to just pile on Joe Theismann for no reason.
It was bad.
Very tiny role though, so not worth it. I don't know. It's hard to pick at least valuable player, I guess. Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's Robert Sacchi's fault fully. No, fine. I'm gonna change it because I was gonna say Robert Sacchi, but it's not really his fault. But then why am I doing that then? It's the writing. I actually think I could see Robert Sacchi's part being part of a good movie, but not just the lame dad jokes, but the overall plot becomes boring and very TV show like instead of movie like. Um, so the writing, which includes not really truly being funny the whole time when it had the opportunity to really be funny or at least clever. So yeah,
No, you're probably right. I mean, it's definitely screenwriting because it's not funny, and they do a really bad job of not having like scenes that move to things. Like there's literally like two or three set pieces in the whole movie. It gets very repetitive. But I kind of have to give it to Robert Sacchi because I agree it's not entirely his fault, but just that droning voice and saying similar things over and over again, it got very irritating. And he wasn't responsible for that entirely, but still give it to him. Let's talk briefly about the critical consensus on this movie. Uh, I think they kind of agree with what we were saying that there's hints of it being like an intelligent or likable movie, but it lacks a certain energy beyond the Bogart stuff to really make it like a good movie on its own. Right? Oh, yeah. That's the kind of consensus. Uh,
wasted potential really is.
yeah. So I have a hot take on the Razzie Pantheon because I'm sure a reasonable person will be like, "Oh, this movie's not that bad," but as a wacky comedy, it was just such a letdown, and it felt so long. I would put it in the if we made a if I made a tier picture, I'd put it in the bottom, the F tier, just above like the Island or Change of Seasons. It's just I don't know. It's just like it's got doesn't have a good payoff, and I felt dishonest to have the old actors in it and not have them do anything. And this kind of made me icky to think about this movie. So I probably disliked it more than you did.
I was critical of the Nude Bomb for feeling like more of a TV show than a movie. Of all the movies we watched, this is only the second one where it felt more like a TV show than movies. There's movies that are worse, like definitely Change of Seasons and The Island, but they felt cinematic at least. So I'm scrolling through the 1980 nominees. I really should have, like, if I did extra work, I could have made a list and ranked them. But there's roughly 20 films that got nominated. I don't know, maybe too high. The bottom 10 for sure, probably close to the bottom five. Uh, so honestly, the beginning kind of saved it from being near the very bottom, but then it fizzled more and more as the movie went on.
Yep. Uh, yeah. So that concludes the portion of this movie about this movie. We're gonna talk about the other movie. I'm just gonna switch the video real fancy like. Now we're gonna talk about Beat the Devil. Yeah. So yeah, let's get straight into the crew breakdown. Marcus, what is your favorite memory or film or whatever of John Huston? There's a lot to choose from.
You're right in that. Let me just look at his filmography real quick and make a rash decision I'll regret.
There's Asphalt Jungle, which is a weird one to say first. Chinatown, which is an acting role, but still. Uh, oh, Treasure of Sierra Madre is excellent.
I'm gonna pick one he didn't say, and it's one of his more obscure ones. Maltese Falcon was the first one. What a debut. But it's obscure cast in hindsight too. But in 1972, he directed a boxing movie called Fat City, which I didn't understand the title. That might be kind of dumb. But it's a really good character study. It gets very dark, uh, and it makes sense it got so dark. Uh, so yeah, definitely Fat City is what I'll say is my favorite. But so many good movies. And he's a
Yeah.
good writer. He wrote he wrote or co-wrote a lot of his movies, which is actually kind of rare for uh, a guy from the classic Hollywood era.
Oh yeah. So before we go to the next back and forth, I should mention briefly for our audience because we talk this more off camera, but um, Bogart's Face is obviously an alleged comedy based on Humphrey Bogart's screen persona and his movies and stuff, and Beat the Devil's sort of a more nuanced and realistic version of the similar idea of Humphrey Bogart playing a more comedic or amplified version of a Bogart character, sort of a parody, kind of. Movie's weird, but yeah,
It's yeah, I got shocked by you can tell from the beginning it's not gonna be as silly as I initially thought. It's the old version of a parody silly movie where
yeah,
things are just it's very similar to the type of movie it's quote unquote parodying. It's just a little sillier and more outlandish.
yes, and a little less based on tension and action, and more on dialogue and humor. But it's not like wacky. It's oddly realistic. Reminds me a lot of Jim Jarmusch or something. It's very weird. All right, you can go back. You can go back to the back and forth thing.
Oh, your turn. List. I guess kind of touched on John Huston. He's the accredited co-writer. So, your what are your thoughts on Truman Capote? I guess it says Clark Burns is writer, but I think he wrote the book and they gave him a credit.
In fact, I think he actually didn't get a credit on the poster slash promotion. But yes, it was based on his novel. But yeah,
Which one's the Capote?
yeah. Capote, mostly famous for being a bit of a bitch and kind of a short little gay man. But he wrote Breakfast at Tiffany's, which is kind of surreal comparison of his career, like that in Cold Blood in this movie, just all over the place as a writer, but very adept at capturing the foibles of reality, both for drama and comedy. So yes, I'm a big fan. Although tough to watch, like this movie, but yeah. All right. Do you ever hear of the composer of this movie, Franco Manino?
No, but I actually did notice the score in good ways during this. Well, there's actually only one that I can remember off the top of my head now. On the fateful boat trip, uh, when tensions rise, there's a sound cue which kind of indicates that the tension's rising. I thought it was clever and it was good classical music. I think it's good classical music throughout. I would never say this is my favorite or most memorable score, even amongst films of the era, but I think Franco did a solid job.
Yeah, so I briefly mentioned he did a lot of artsy Italian movies later on, like Brett Lancaster as an old professor who lives with a bunch of college age kids in a movie called Conversation Piece. Yeah, there you go. I think on to the cast, I think.
Uh, Favorite Humphrey Bogart role? Anything you want to say about Humphrey Bogart?
I like all of them almost the same. Of course, Casablanca is like just such a great movie, but this movie in particular, it was a little bit of uh African queen, affable guy you fall in love with a little bit of the edge of Treasure of the Sierra Madre. Felt the closest to like a Bogart playing Bogart in a movie, which I have no way of knowing, but that's what it kind of felt like. Yeah.
Speaking of Bogart playing Bogart, I think more than any actor I could possibly think of, I think maybe he came out of the womb as a 50-year-old man because even in younger movies, like he has a supporting role in Angels with Dirty Faces, and that was like
30s maybe.
yeah, a couple decades before this. He looks exactly the same and he acts the same.
Yep. I mean,
Did
once
not.
again, yeah.
Maybe he died looking at 60. Actually, I think he did die relatively young.
So I
Okay,
probably
this dark.
go ahead. What?
Sorry, anyone else on the cast you want to talk about?
Uh, put too many people on my list. But do you have any thoughts on Jennifer Jones or Gina Lolo Brigida?
Not really. I had heard the name General Bridget, but I don't think I'd seen any of her movies. I think of her along with I'm blanking on her name. She's as famous or more famous, but similar time frame of Italian actresses. The one that was in Once Upon a Time in the West.
Can't remember.
Quick Google search will find it. Just putting Once Upon a Time movies. Uh, Claudia Cardinale, that's it.
Yeah, Gina Lolo Brigida has the same, like a lot of women, especially ethnic women. Nothing like not to get weird about it, but very full-bodied, attractive woman. Most of her roles seem to involve her being implied naked in the poster and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I shouldn't I compared to Claudia Cardinale. Sophia Loren's probably more apt, but she was more leading lady, won Best Actress at the
Yeah,
Oscars. So she broke through more, but
there's definitely a type for American distributors. And then briefly on the cast because the only other leads. Uh, did you recognize Robert Morley?
I recognized him, but I couldn't tell you what was in or his actor name, but he's in 50 bazillion uh movies of that era. He's one of those guys that everyone cast as stuffy British
Yeah,
pompous.
yeah.
Why
When I
don't you
get, but
tell me some of your I don't know, you probably did more research on him.
I didn't find much I recognized. He was very good at playing period pieces. You might expect put a wig on him. You can play wherever you want in a British movie. Um, he did have a relationship of some kind with Bogart because he was an African queen in a very small part as some kind of boat official or something. But yeah, and then finally,
Many
so go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
there's many Bogart regulars, including you're probably cutting to the next guy.
Yes, Marcus. What is your favorite part for Peter Lorre?
Uh, I think he works best in film noir, and this definitely isn't film noir. So I'll just cheapen out and say he's in the Maltese Falcon, right?
I haven't not seen that movie. You have, so but sounds right.
Yes, he is. Because I was gonna say, and then because Sidney Greenstreet is not in Beat the Devil, but he's in a lot of Bogart, and they're both in that movie.
Both in Casablanca as well, famously. You got to help me, Rick. Help. And then I gotta mention Peter Lorre, candidate for literal candidate for one. If I had to pick a greatest movie of all time, this would be a candidate. M as the child serial killer, and it's classic German cinema. It's an amazing movie. Yeah. All right. I want to briefly mention Beat the Devil. It makes sense. It's a good movie. That Beat the Devil has a very clever title because you can read three meanings into Beat the Devil. It could be beat the devil as in beat up that devil over there, beat the devil as in defeat your inner demons, or beat the devil at his own game. So it's very like open ended, kind of like this movie about morality and choices you make.
Yeah, it's kind of confusing when you think about the plot, to be honest.
And I think it was because they're all villainous and they're competing with each other. I don't know. This movie is what you put into it, kind of in a way. I don't know. This poster's weird. Like hand drawn, but they used like I don't know what you call it. It's like chalk or something because it like Bogart's face there. It sort of blurs a little bit. Colors kind of like blend weird. It's
yeah,
like
it's
street art.
very
Yeah, yeah.
I watched a documentary on people make posters like that because there's a lot of that's the classic style of classic Hollywood posters as made fun of in the Fletch Lives poster with Chevy Chase.
The beat the
Because
devil on its thing.
not specifically make fun of Gone with the Wind, but um,
It is very Gone with the Wind-esque. It's very epic, and the movie doesn't really match that tone exactly, but it does have the set pieces and the boats and stuff. So yeah. All right. The tagline is pretty silly because exclamation points. Adventure at its boldest. Bogart at his best. It's just incredibly vague.
it sounds like the trailer because that was old-timey trailers would do that all the time where it's uh,
Cutaways to a exclamation point sentence.
right over the action, or they would actually do the film newspapers at high speed getting published
You know,
and then put those bold sentences.
yeah. I remember. Oh, never mind. Yeah, but yeah, a lot of movies do that. Uh, goddamn. I'm getting tired thinking of that trailer. I guess you probably didn't watch it. I sent you a. I think it was a sales trailer for the Blu-ray. We watched the. I assume I don't know what two we uploaded. I assume we watched the theatrical cut, but there's a 4 minute longer, uncensored version of this movie, and they put it on Blu-ray. They did a commercial for it. That was a trailer, and it was just a lot of the dialogue scenes shown quasi in full. And it was kind of boring. But, yeah.
I actually think they used the updated version of the movie for this because the version with the restored footage was around the length of the Tubi version. So
Yeah.
there's just those no, Tubi. I don't know why, but I don't know if it's Tubi's fault or the movie's fault, but God, need subtitles for movies like this.
Yep. I was lost. Not lost exactly, but kind of bored because of that. Yeah. Uh, I could not find any formal awards for Beat the
No, it wasn't very
Devil.
popular at the time at all.
We'll get into the reception thing, but yeah, it lost the money, and Humphrey Bogart said he didn't like it, probably because he lost money. But yeah.
Next,
Oh yeah. Uh, let's do another trivia break. Answer these questions about famous depictions of the devil. Because beat the devil. Uh, what British poet gave the devil the famous line, "Better to reign in hell than serve in heaven"?
Milton.
Yes. What director restored the classical visage of the devil as a black goat in a well-received 2015 folk horror film he directed?
Because everything he shoots in black and white. Is it Eggers?
Yes. I thought the movie was in color, but I didn't watch it.
Which
But yeah,
movie?
The Witch is the what I was hinting at.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
he did that in color, but then everything since has been black and white, it seems.
What composer wrote the musical piece that accompanied the Fantasia cartoon of a giant devil on a mountain wreaking havoc?
Modest Mussorgsky.
Yep. Yep. For some reason, I was triggered to do a rap about Modest Mussorgsky in the. But I'm not gonna do it. I don't know. Sorry. I cracked myself up. Okay. When Homer Simpson sells his soul to the devil for a donut and argues against the contract, he is judged by a jury of some of history's greatest villains. This includes what politician who was alive when the episode aired?
Richard Nixon?
Yes. Also serving on the jury and making it easy on the writers to round up from six jurors to 12 are six members from what NHL hockey franchise with a nickname that implies they might be mean?
It was the Flyers, right?
What is their famous nickname?
Stupid WWE, you want to say it? Just say it. We'll all giggle about it. Mean Street Posse.
It's got some of those words in there. Broad Street Bullies. Uh, talk a little bit about the Oscar categories. A lot of these are criticisms of just I don't know the way movies shot because cinematography is a little flat, in part because they shot indoors for like 90% of the movie, and the lighting was kind of also meh, kind of flat, broad lighting.
I think in hindsight, it's not technical, but no, not really. I was gonna say the writing's kind of clever. A lot happens, and I was surprised in an entertaining way by all the things that happened. So I think it was somewhat well written.
No, I agree. I think this movie was let down by just watching it on a TV with no subtitles and stuff like the audio mix, which I'll get to in a second. But it was way way too intelligent for its time. It should have been made with a traditional, you know, audio mix and stuff in the 60s, 70s. But yeah, yeah. Speaking of sound, yeah, I don't I don't know what the process is in back in the day for making good sound, but it felt like watching a movie about like a documentary about traveling in Africa or something. There wasn't oh the sound design wasn't super strong. It wasn't loud enough in places. I don't know. It's hard to describe, but yeah.
and maybe it was a rough edit too, but yeah, they did film on location in Italy and maybe Africa too. Um, so maybe that led to the sound being too quiet. Um, I don't know, but I got the main point of everything.
Yeah, and then briefly, I have the same note on production design. It was like they filmed on the same set for everything. It was like a bedroom, a living room, inside a boat. It was like got very distracting for someone who's not like invested in a movie or whatever. But yeah,
Yeah, they did go out to sea and they did drive a car off a cliff.
yep. Kind of reminds a little bit of Man with Bogart's Face, where they drove a car off a cliff and then and then sat in indoor sets for 90% of the movie. Exactly the same.
What was the car off the cliff in Bogart's face?
I don't remember what.
Oh, because he tricks the guys to go past him and then he rams them over the
Yep.
and murders them.
It's like
Yeah.
there was a budget meeting. Like we can only do one cool thing in this entire movie. All right, let's get to my awards. I guess you'll have to help me with this because I did not have a lot of things to pull from. But start with best scene in the movie. The ending is awesome. It kind of hints at how the movie. I should have enjoyed the rest of the movie because for the plot, uh, so Peter Lorre, Robert Morley. That's confusing. And Humphrey Bogart have a plot to do this. I mean, I'm so confused. They have a plot to do this thing with the land, and they get busted by the cops because the nerdy guy rats them out. There's like a tall guy, is like a British guy or something. I don't know, British, but
Husband of Jennifer Jones's character that
Yes.
Mr. Weird last name, Mr. Chelm.
So basically, he rats them out, and then it turns out because of procedural law, he gets the land they all wanted. And at the very end of the movie, because Humphrey Bogart was, without telling everyone, was shacking up with someone.
I don't know if he actually slept with her, but he's Jennifer Jones's character. They were definitely flirting, and she was in love with him.
Well, anyway,
Uh,
they're at home together, and they get a letter sent to Jennifer Jones, and the nerdy guy's like, I'm willing to forgive you. You can come get this land. So Humphrey Bogart kind of knows that he's got an in.
but they're not living together. They're actually she's actually saying her goodbyes. He's still living with Gina Lollobrigida.
I get it. I get it. Bogart's being a scamp. I get it. It was heavily implied they were falling in love.
Yes, they're flirting both ways. This is kind of the quote unquote parody element because it's outrageous for a 1953 movie that he was flirting with her and I think kissed her, and then same with Gina Lollobrigida and the nerdy guy keeps talking about Harry Chelm.
So anyway, I like the nuance of the ending that Bogart has an in to go back and get the land potentially. It's open ended, but I liked it.
It
Because
was kind of goofy. It was kind of goofy at the end when Bogart goes, "Ha ha ha! This
yeah,
is the end." Or
I want to go home. Ha 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 ha. You have a better scene than that?
uh, no, I won't say better scene. I did like how the scenes work together because all of a sudden he's the most dangerous of the of fat guy's crew. Almost kills the Chelm guy. Like a lot. Give the movie credit for a lot of things coming out of nowhere, which is what you want from a movie. You don't want to know what's coming.
Oh, this movie was definitely not patternistic or whatever. Uh, I couldn't think of a specific worst scene. There was a lot of dialogue scenes. I was just like, oh, okay, what? Yeah, but I couldn't think of. Do you have anything in mind?
Not really a whole scene that's bad per se. I got a little tired of the one note Captain Sorrow Ursi is the actor. Uh, you'll sink on my boat. I'm gonna kill you. Never come on my boat again.
Yeah, yeah, that seemed a little out of place because everyone else is kind of like normal and
Most
cool.
playing
Yeah,
cool. Although that I guess it's fair to call Harry Chelm a nerd because he's like, I'm a subject of the British Empire. You all be in vast trouble. Like Harry Bogart's like, calm down, bro. Calm down, bro.
pretty much. Uh, I didn't think of the best quote. You have a best quote?
No, should take better notes. It's hard with the lack of subtitles. That would help me remember more.
I'm in the exact same boat. So I don't know the best quote or worst quote. Uh, yeah, the captain was probably. Uh, it's weird to call it worse because it didn't bother me, but it was like, yeah, I just felt like it was outside of the vision of the movie a little bit. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Captain doesn't matter in the plot of the movie. And also I don't know if he's actually no, it doesn't look like he's actually Arabic, which is fitting for the time. The one guy who speaks English in the Arab land they end up shipwrecked in. He's kind of weird. You know Rita Hayworth.
That was funny though. That was one of the. That was the line that made me think this movie could have been made in the 70s or the 80s. It's very 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 meta line. Oh yeah, I know Rita Hayworth. Yeah, yeah.
Vince McMahon here. Yeah, yeah.
I can get into my Bogart impression, but I'm tired of Bogart impressions. All right, okay, let's get into the VPs. First for MVP, very traditional nominees. Got Bogart, Laurie, or Morley. One of those or something else.
MVPs?
Yes.
I just want to give a shout out. I'm not sure if it's truly MVP. Peter Lorre gets a bad rap. I mean,
Bad rap.
I don't know. I just don't. I sometimes feel like people think he's a bad actor because the way people do impressions of him. There's just this guy who walks around and kind of sounds like he's a wheezing evil man or something. Uh, I actually thought I it was little, but I liked his dialogue in the group. I shouldn't make him MVP because he's still a supporting character, but I liked I liked his dialogue. I thought it was a good bit where people kept assuming he wasn't Irish, or what was the opposite? No, he's saying O'Hara is a German name. I thought that was kind of funny. I just like Peter Lorre a lot.
No, he's very likable. I would go with Bogart because of the whole carrying the movie, basically, but very similar. Morally,
It's actually
I
it's
would, yeah.
similar another way because I think some people are we have a relative who criticizes people actors for who sound the same all the time, but then there's the thing about acting that sometimes you sound the same in a lot of movies, but it's an entertaining sound for lack of a better term. Uh, uh, so it's kind of good to keep using it. Jimmy Stewart's an example of someone who kind of talked the same all his movies, but I would say was a tremendous actor who could do a lot of things believably.
Who do you think always sounds the same in this movie?
Humphrey Bogart,
I thought. I mean, I
he
guess
always he always played he always talked the same. He's kind of always a cad noir guy.
like well, this movie that what was that movie called where he screenwriter who punches his girlfriend a lot.
Oh, Nicholas Ray, the director of Rebel Without a Cause.
Such nuanced acting of like being like frail and like I think much more nuanced acting than you were saying about like Jimmy Stewart and stuff. But yeah.
I think it's in a lonely place.
Yeah, that sounds right. I love Bogart. This movie confirms it. Yes. Uh, least VP. I just technical stuff. There was same type of scene with the dialogue too much, and then bad sound design with repeating visuals. So it's kind of nitpicking, but yeah.
Uh, he wasn't terrible, and I think his character, a character like him, was required in the action because you can't have everyone be a coolish gangster type. Uh, I'll give it to Edward Underdown, who played Harry Chilton, the nerd, as we're calling him. He kind of overdid it with his
Yeah,
British accent,
like he's
but he was doing what he was told. Looking at reading his bio a little bit, that's kind of what he was always asked to do.
I thought he was kind of funny. So yeah, but I didn't. But you have to pick someone in a movie like this with stacked acting and stuff. So whatever. Yeah,
I don't want to pick the captain again because I don't want to talk about the captain's barely in the movie.
yeah, I agree. So this movie was like we were talking before, arguably less popular than Bogart's Face at time of release. Like I was hinting at, a lot of critics said the scenes dragged on too long, and the direction and style belied the intensity of the story. And Humphrey Bogart said he disliked the movie probably because he put his own money up for production and he lost it due to poor ticket sales. And Roger Ebert had a point that was interesting. Said this is maybe one of the first camp movies, and,
yeah,
and it's like it's got a very modern style in terms of its comedy, but it's not like gaggy comedy. It's kind of more Woody Allen esque, like the more the yeah less silly Woody Allen whatever. So very nuanced film.
very good. Yes.
I don't know if there's a pantheon for this
No, this is a new
movie.
thing about good movies because we it's it's better than every Razzie movie we covered, maybe except The Shining. I don't know.
I put Gloria and
Oh yeah, Gloria. I forgot about Gloria.
that's about it though. Yeah. All right.
Uh, we'll make a pantheon of movies inspired, but we're just starting off, so this is number one and the worst.
This is definitely a vulnerable number one in my opinion, but we'll see. Uh, so I didn't pick a good movie, but here's the Razzie movie. See if you can guess it. Uh, First clue: psychological thriller starring Jenna Ortega, Barry Keoghan, however you say that, and a man who most people don't know under his real name, Abel Tafay. Abel Tafay.
Oh, so we went back to 2025.
Yes.
Saltburn?
Second clue: that man Abel is much better known under the name The Weeknd. Just
Oh
one
my
help.
God. Barry Keoghan and the Weeknd were in a movie together? The only thing I know Weeknd for is that show with Lily Rose Depp.
Not that.
Fine, just guess something. Movie from 2025. Toy Story 4. That's it.
Your final clue: three words. First word is to move more quickly. Second word is the opposite of down. Third word is the day after today.
Faster Up Tomorrow?
Hurry up tomorrow. Available for paid rent on Amazon, YouTube, Apple TV, and others. And then
Never heard of
Marcus will figure out what the equivalent classic cinema is or whatever with that next time on Twin Bill. Book me on your shows or let's be best friends and hang out maybe. I don't know.